A sit-stand desk? How easy are these things to assemble, and how useful are they once you get them assembled? Let's check this out. Dave Taylor here in the field at my daughter's house where I just built this very nice NearHub OD20 adjustable height sit-stand desk. So what's the big deal with this is that there's a control panel and I can lower or raise the height of the desk. And the advantage of that is if I want to stand up and just not be sitting for 12 hours or 8 hours or whatever, I can get it to just the right height for me to have my computer and be typing. And if I then want to pull a chair around, I can sit down and actually lower this down to the perfect height for my body dimensions. And this is an important thing because most desks are designed for a standard height human being, which isn't necessarily your height or your torso shape. So right off the bat, having an adjustable desk is great, but being able to raise it up so that you can actually use it standing or sitting or on a stool, whatever you want to do to be comfortable is really, really helpful. Now, I want to show you that it's so smooth. Watch the water. I'm going to just let it go down a little bit and so you can hear it. It's very quiet, but that water is super smooth. There's really not much going on there. So let's see that again in super close motion. Now I'm going to tell you more about the desk, but before we get there, let me walk you through the assembly process. I will say it's easy to assemble, but it will take time. It took me, I think, about an hour or so to build this desk, not because any individual step was complicated, but just because there's lots of screws and lots of bolts, and you really want to take your time and make sure it all goes in at the right direction and with the right orientation. So let's look at that assembly process. As you would expect, we start with a box full of stuff. It actually is a surprisingly compact box. And the instructions don't have words, so you're going to want to take a deep breath. But the good news is that all of the parts are nicely labeled, and you can see just barely that each of the hardware components has a letter associated with it too. So it's basically a process of finding all the right pieces and then putting them together properly. You start with the crossbar, and it's pretty easy, and it actually stays in place because of some indents they have on it. And then these are the supports that are going to actually be connected to the desk surface itself. You flip it upside down, and then there are 4 bolts that connect each of the 2 legs. I would highly recommend that you do opposite corners and then do the other 2 corners to make sure everything fits correctly. And that's what it looks like at this point. So I haven't screwed the desk surface onto the legs and the hardware set yet, but that's the next step. And that's what it looks like when those screws are actually installed. Then the most exciting part is actually slotting that bar through the motor and then placing the motor, and you'll notice that there's space for 2 screws to hold the motor to that cross beam. Also notice that B2. Everything is very clearly labeled. Screw on the control panel, plug in the wires, and we are getting really close to being ready to go. You can optionally add some wire management, and this is just an adhesive, and then the little metal hook lets you hang something from the side like headphones. With the larger desktop surface, however, it's pretty far back from the edge, so I'm not sure this is going to be utilized very much. And then there is an additional sort of storage space that goes in the back of the desk. I'm not exactly sure what it's for, but it ships flat. You fold the metal pieces to this shape, and then you affix it to the underneath of the desk. So that's what it all looks like, and I'm ready to flip it over. Here it is, all ready to go. And the control actually works when I plug it in, as you can see here. And then finally, there's the cable grommet, which actually lets you run either a couple of slim cables or a lot of cables through the desk surface in a very neat fashion, or you can completely ignore it and just leave it sealed up just like this. And that's everything. So that's the assembly process. Like I said, it wasn't particularly difficult, it's just time consuming. Now, having done that, and notice I've lowered this down and I'm sitting, so this is the other way you can use the desk, and let me tell you a bit about it. So, it has 2 stage legs that you saw in the construction, and a max weight of 133 pounds. I mean, my laptop's like 5 pounds, so I got plenty of extra space here. And the height can go from 28 inches to 46 inches, so that's a huge range. And they have the cable grommets to keep all the cables neat, and the preset, let me give you a close-up. There's a convenient control, and it has 2 memories, so you can actually get just the right height for sitting and just the right height for standing, and then save those as your 2 memories. Super easy, or you can just use the up and down arrows to, let's see, just adjust it to the perfect height for you. So really, I really like these things. I have been and assembled a number of these sort of devices, and these are just so much nicer than regular desks. And as you can see, it gives you lots of a work surface. So they come in black or white, and it's either 48 by 24 or 55 by 24 inches. And the company includes a 5-year warranty. So all very nice. Now, price-wise, but wait, before we get to the price, let me actually ask you to subscribe to my channel. Click or tap on that subscribe button, hit that bell icon for notifications, and give me a thumbs up if you found this of value. And I also want to mention that they sent me 2 other things too that I haven't actually assembled. So this one is a keyboard tray, and the other one's too heavy to pick up. It is a desktop monitor mount, and both of those, the monitor mount clamps to the back, and then it's an arm, so you can have an adjustable monitor where you can just sort of place it where you want. And the keyboard would actually clamp to the front here on my side of the desk, and then I could put a keyboard down there. And so both of those are options, and all of that's important for price. So let's start with the desk itself. So this is the NearHub OD20 adjustable height sit-stand desk, and it is $279 at nearhub.us. Having said that, every time I go to their site, there's some sort of a discount available, so you can probably pick it up for closer to $220 or $230. Absolutely a great investment for your health and happiness, especially if you're working at home. But honestly, most offices now have some of these sort of desks too, because it's so nice. It's so much better for your body not to just sit in a chair for hour after hour, but to be able to slide it aside and raise your desk and stand up and work for a little bit. So there's that. And then I have the MA40 dual monitor mount in one of the boxes down here, and that is $49.99. And that actually lets me have 2 displays on arms, so I can position them exactly where I want. Super convenient. And then the KD10 is the keyboard tray, which I could put on the front here, and then that would give me the ability, like I said, to have my keyboard off the work surface. So you can imagine the keyboard's here, the displays are floating, and that gives me the entire desk as a work surface. So if you're an artist, for example, this is a fantastic configuration. But I'm in a pretty small room, so I don't know that they're going to have space, particularly for the keyboard tray, but that's another story. So the KD10 keyboard tray is also $49.99. So I really like NearHub's equipment. They actually have built some of their chairs and reviewed their chairs, and now I've tried this desk, and this is really nice. The most important thing is it's easy to assemble, though it takes time, And once you have it assembled, it's really easy to work with and it's very smooth. And if you really like having your work surface really high, well, suppose you could do that too. So that's everything I got. I'll hope to catch you in my next video.